Hey, what's up you guys? It's Zach with PCBros, and today I got my buddy Mark here. This is his first ever PC build, so I'm gonna walk him through it and you all can follow along. So we're gonna build a nice budget PC here. You excited?
I'm very excited. No idea what I'm looking at here.
Let's get hyped.
Do it!
So here's a quick breakdown of the specs that we're going to be using for this PC build. This PC is our Plus streamer PC that you can find on PCBros.tech, and it features the Intel i5-14100F and the RX 7600, and is a great build for getting into your favorite games in 1080p with a lot of upgrade path potential. We also have 16 gigs of DDR4 3200 megahertz RAM, 512 gig NVMe SSD, an Intel B660M motherboard, 650 watt 80 plus gold power supply. And for this, we are using the Apevia Prodigy case with the Intel stock cooler. Currently, while filming this, we switched the case to the Okinos Aqua 3. Apevia Prodigies are going to be discontinued here soon. But if you want to know more info on this build, check out PCBros.tech. And if you're not too interested in building it yourself, you can get this with our 1-year warranty, Windows installed, tested, and activated, and all the drivers you need to plug and play your favorite PC games. So let's go ahead and get right into this build as I show Mark how to build this epic budget gaming PC. What do you think? I'm just going to kind of guide you step by step, but for the most part, you're going to be doing everything here. I'm not going to touch anything. I'm going to just be guiding you with words. What do you think you start with first, looking at all these boxes?
This is totally guessing because, like I said, this is foreign to me. I'm gonna, oh man, I don't know. Oh man, I don't know, man. This is hard. Core.
How about this box?
I'm gonna go with this one then. No, I want to choose that one.
All right, but before we get into it, we're gonna need tools.
Oh,
so,
okay.
Behind you, we have a tool wall. Let me give you a quick breakdown on the tools that you're gonna need for pretty much every PC build that you'd ever do. So first up, you're definitely going to need a Phillips screwdriver, preferably one with a magnetic tip. We love using the Linus Tech Tip screwdrivers. This video is not sponsored, but we just like their product. And for the most part, that comes with everything that you need for a PC build. But if you do not have that, a PH1 smaller Phillips screwdriver is gonna be perfect for one specific part of the build, which is the M.2 screws. You're gonna need a nut driver. This is 3x16, and then you're going to need box cutter and pliers. So that's basically everything that you're gonna need. Let's get right back to this build. You don't want to rip the boxes, y'all, in case something's broken, so you can ship it back.
Oh, okay,
so
that makes sense.
Start with this. We're gonna get these boxes out of the way, kind of just opening this right now. This is the motherboard. All right, so what you'll find in
that's
here
a lot of stuff.
Is, for the most part, this looks overwhelming. It's a lot of stuff in here, but there's only two things that we really need, right? This is called an I/O shield.
An I/O shield? Okay.
We have M.2 screws. We might need those. And then we have the motherboard itself. So pretty much anything here you can take out and put to the side.
Okay. Ooh, design.
This is a SATA cable. We will not need that for this build.
I thought it was going to be like...
anytime you're touching the motherboard, just be careful not to bend the pins. I would just hold like the back of it, make sure it's nice supported. Perfect.
Can I touch this in my hand?
Yeah, you can touch it. There's usually a little pad on the bottom. Do you see that? The foam pad?
Yeah.
You want to touch that and then guide it out.
Okay, so is this, can I set this up?
Yeah. We are going to need this port. This is where the CPU goes. This is the RAM.
RAM, CPU,
And then we have the storage right here underneath this M.2 armor. So these are 3 steps we're gonna do. You can do them in whatever order you want. I usually start with the CPU.
That'd be cool.
All right, so what you're seeing next, like in that box, is a cooler. This is the cooler that we're going to be using for this build. This is the Intel stock cooler, so you don't need to buy one. It comes with it.
Being extra cautious because I don't know how fragile these things are if they're not.
thermal paste applied, so don't touch it.
Okay, just...
Yeah, touch around it.
Can I set this on this?
Yep. The CPU only goes one way in the socket, and you can tell.
Oh, there's a triangle, yeah.
Right there.
Okay.
And that lines up with the one on the motherboard. Do you see a triangle on the motherboard?
Yeah, right there.
Yeah,
right there.
So that's where you want to line those up. Yeah, so we're going to take that lever, and we're going to push it down, like a little pressure downward.
Oh, like this?
Yeah, you're going to have to push kind of hard. Yep, and then you get it out of that hook. Yes,
oh,
sir.
Whoa.
And then you want to delicately open that. Don't want to touch any pins inside.
This right here?
Yep. Oh, well, you can do it on that top latch. Or that top. Yeah. Yes, sir.
That's cool.
So that's
that's
the part. You do not want to touch that, guys.
Don't touch that? What happens if I touch it?
If anything bends, your computer's cooked.
Oh, it sounds expensive.
Yeah. So what you want to do is you want to line up those 2 triangles that you saw together and lightly place it in. You can put like, you just don't want to push it down. No. You just want to like lightly.
Kind of let it fall into place.
Without dropping it. Yeah, you can guide it all the way down. You just don't want to put, it's not like pushing like a cartridge in or something.
Gotcha. Can I grab on the sides?
Oh, yeah,
like that? Okay.
Okay. And then, yep, you line those 2 up.
Like I'm doing surgery, man.
Nice. Good, you heard, that was perfect. Now what you want to do is you want to push that lever back where it was.
All right.
All right, we got it in post. But once you get this, we're going to install the cooler. Now these Intel stock coolers don't have like screws. These are like little push clickies, but you push them in the holes and they click in and they lock themselves in. Do you see these little holes there?
Yeah.
So you want to line these with that. I really like this cable to be in the top right, so that way we can cable manage it later.
Oh, it goes like this?
Yeah. Like
okay. No, it's just press. Okay.
Yeah, so you want to go alternate. Like,
would I do the same thing like I would do car tires, like star pattern? Does it matter?
Oh yeah, star pattern's perfect, exactly.
Just like
so you just want to push straight down, no screw in it.
Oh, just push down?
Yeah, push down. Oh, that should be good.
Okay.
So you want to push down to your hero click. It should be right where it should be. And then we'll give it a test here. You want to hear a click on it. Yeah, let's go.
Whew, got it my first time. Let's go.
We're gonna plug this guy into what's called the CPU fan header. It's gonna be that, do you see that left one on the right?
Yeah, CPU fan 1 and CPU fan 2.
Yep, you just want to put that in 1.
In 1? Okay.
Yep, and then it'll only plug in one way, so you'll see where that connects.
Is there a way to route this wire or anything like that?
Yeah, right when you plug it in, we kind of tuck it in between the RAM and the CPU cooler.
Okay, so I'm assuming these are really fragile and that they can break, right?
Oh yeah. So the slots that we're going to be doing, or the second one here and this 4th one, we want to skip one, and that's called dual channeling. So we're going to push this down, push that down, and you want to go here in the 2nd and the 4th one.
I feel like I'm doing surgery over here. This is so cool.
Yeah, well, you're going to have to push down a little bit on this one.
Okay.
Yep, 2 thumbs.
Okay, here we go.
Yep. Yeah, you have to push kind of hard for that. That's perfect.
Okay,
Yep,
okay.
So
it clicks.
click on both sides.
Here we go. Come on in the holes. We can do this.
Yep, that should be good. Now 2 thumbs.
Around the edges. Careful.
Nice.
Yes. Let's go.
RAM done, CPU done. We just have the storage. So now we're going to need the PH1.
Okay.
And we're going to remove those 2 M.2 screws.
I'm assuming power tools would be a bad idea for this.
Usually.
Is there a way where I need to put the screws or?
Yeah, I'll just put them there.
Okay.
But we will need them later to put it back on. So in here, we have 512 gigabytes, but this is called an NVMe SSD.
NVMe SSD.
So we are going to remove the little M.2 armor.
Okay. So now we remove this.
And then there's a little slot here that is exposed. So before we put this back on, we're going to remove that PLE stick. So there's this little port. You're going to want to match it up. The words are going to be upside down, but that's okay.
Oh, okay.
So it's going to be
completely different than I was thinking.
So you're going to put this part into there by like pushing it in first at an angle.
Oh, so kind of like a Scooby Whoopie?
We're gonna go in this. You see where these 2 like line up? This and that.
Oh, okay.
So
right there.
You're not gonna come in like too much at an angle, but just enough. Yeah, just like that. It'll only fit like one way. So if it ain't fitting, you're not putting it in right.
Is there any force at all allowed to push?
Yeah, a little push.
Okay, so okay. Oh, see.
So it comes a little bit at an angle. That's fine. You just don't want it to be like. We'll push it down and hold it and put the screw back. Before we put the screw back, we have to put on the armor.
Oh, okay.
So this part's a little annoying to line up those holes. We'll put that back on how it was and make sure those holes are lined up and that sticky stuff is resting on the SSD.
On this?
Yeah.
Does it matter which way I put the M2 armor?
Yeah, this one will go, this word should be facing.
Okay. These are a lot smaller screws than I'm used to working with, I'll tell you that.
Can a car guy build a PC? All right, now that the motherboard is done, we're going to take the case.
Okay.
We're gonna open that guy up, but first I like to clear out my workspace a little bit. You don't want to lose any parts. It's getting kind of chaotic for my ADHD brain. So any of those empty boxes we can just put to the floor. We do not, again, want to throw any boxes away yet. to make sure all parts work. We want this open.
Okay.
And then we're just gonna flip it. But be careful flipping it.
Oh.
No, that's all right.
A
Put that
PBR.
to the side. Now don't touch that. That's a big static buildup right there. You can kind of
Oh.
see it. So you're gonna take one of your metal objects and kind of get that static out a little bit. Just about ready to go. There's a couple things we need to do to prep it before getting the motherboard in. We want to take off this glass side panel and then the other side panel. There's 2 screws here, 4 screws here. Now this next part, do you see how this like cable's in the way?
Yeah.
Like how it's like crossed in the way?
Yeah.
We're going to unscrew that fan and flip it 90 degrees to just get this cable to line up nicer with here. We got the fan fixed up. Now there's one more thing we gotta do before getting that motherboard in. All right, so there are standoff. This is where the motherboard's going to rest. So we will count the amount of holes on the motherboard and make sure there's one of those for each of the holes. Yep, so there's 3 on the left side here. There's 3 in the middle, and then there's 3 on the right. So on the back, or sometimes in the basement here, there's gonna be this little hardware bag.
Oh, they already give it to you. Cool.
And this will have all the screws we need for the build. And then that's when this comes into hand.
Ah.
We can rest the case laying flat if that makes it easier too. Some people do it standing up, some people lay it flat. However, you can get those in.
So this can lay flat without messing it up.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay. All right, screwing this one
Looks
in.
like I was incorrect. There's only 2 holes here on the right side, so we're only gonna need those top 2, so that's easier.
Now, when it comes to tightness, is it like finger tight, just barely tight?
I would just make sure it's flashlight, make sure it's finger tight. Forgot about this part. We're gonna need to put the IO shield in. And this, we only want it to go one certain way. We want it to line up with how it looks on the bottom here. So we see those little 3 and then those little 3 things.
Okay, so they all line up. Okay.
Yeah. So just make sure these are on the bottom. And then we're gonna put this in this way. So you see these little like notches? There's no screws needed for this.
No.
You're just going to be pushing, they'll click in.
Okay.
So we'll start inside the case. Nice, nice. And you'll need a little pressure. On the corners is where I like to go. All right, now that we got that in, we're gonna take this. You can hold it by the fan, and then we're gonna finally ditch our little foam.
Kind of like this?
Yep, and then you're gonna gently rest it on all of those standoffs that we just put in. And you wanna push it into place here. You're gonna have to push it a little bit this way to make sure all this lines up. Once you get one screw in on the motherboard, it's all gonna kind of fall right into place.
Gotcha.
So we're going to take these screws with the little lip on it. I don't know if that's focused in. So we're going to use those. We're going to use 8 of those, it looks like. You want to be careful not to use the other type of screw because it will get stuck.
This is where I'll be screwing these ones in, right?
Yep. So to not bore you all, we're just going to get the 8 screws in and then cut to the next step here. Nice.
Bam! I'm ready.
So
let's not mess it up.
This is where we're going to need some zip ties too. So we just want some zip ties that look like this. And I would
turn it around.
Yeah, what we're gonna do is just make sure it's all. So take any of these bread ties off. Use these hooks as much as possible. So feed it through the hook, because what we want to do is get these out of the holes. You don't want to see the cables from the other side. So you don't want it to be visible here. We're gonna try to make it go down here, basically. Where Mark has put one on a hook here, one on the hook here, and then just wrapped in the middle here. So it looks like one singular cable's coming down out of the way of these holes so you can't see it on the other side.
That looks way better.
So this is all we need to do for now. We're gonna grab the little snips and snippy 3 of those. I think it's still on the board there. So we're going to start with any of the plugs here. Let's start with this blue one. This is the USB 3. This powers that USB 3 on the case here. So you are going to take that and feed it through one of these holes, depending on where it is on the other side. So you want to put it here on the top, where my finger is. You see my finger?
Okay.
Yeah, perfect. And it might seem like it's getting tangled, but don't worry about it. Well, we can fix all that. These pins are so fragile, so if you come in at an angle or if you wiggle it, you can like toast this pretty easily. Do you see that notch on it?
Yeah, it looks like there's a notch right there on the front side.
They both line up. and you just want to push it straight. Let me give it a test here.
Let's go ahead and test it.
Perfect. Oh, that was, you just about had it, just a little bit more pressure. And
Okay,
you were careful not to do pressure. That's
yes,
perfect.
yeah, just extra careful.
So right now he's doing the HD audio. Make sure you have orientated it the right way and all the pins are lined up before pushing it. And then it should go in pretty smoothly. If you're having to push really hard, it's not the right way, and that might break it. There will be no click like
So no clip. Okay, no clip. That's important.
So these two with the like little armor around it, those are the USB. Those power the USBs to the case.
Okay, is there a right way to put it on in either one? Are they like different USBs or something?
No, either one. So we have got the USB and the HD audio in, but now we need the front panel. And most front panels, unless you have a really nice case, will come individual like this. And I'll have a graph here on the screen to help follow along. And what you want to do is start on that bottom left one, and then do the bottom right, then the top left, and then the top right. That way it just goes in a little smoother, because if one unplugs, it gets kind of annoying. Yep, perfect.
Oh.
So they are kind of fragile, or not fragile, but they will slide out with a little pressure. You see, Mark's already got the PC gaming intuition, where he saw all these ugly cables and he was like, do I zip tie that? Yes, you can zip tie that. It would be helpful, because then you just have less issues down the road. All right, last up, we got the power supply. So go ahead and open that.
All right.
And tell me how you feel.
Hey, guess what? More zip ties.
Exactly.
They know we need them.
Alright, so we're going to take this guy out and attach to it. This is called a non-modular power supply. Oh, there's fully modular, semi-modular, and that just means the cables you can attach as you need them. But this one has all the cables, whether you need them or not, they're going to be there. And we can do it.
Holy crap, that's a lot more than those little wires.
And the issue is we're only going to need 2 of those, so the rest are going to be shoved in the basement.
Only 2? And there's like, I feel like there's like...
Oh, 2 or 3, I don't know.
10, at least.
The side that's going to be peeking out of the case is the one with the plug, but we want to make sure this fan is facing down. So where that mesh is in the case, it wants to rest here, because that's where it's going to be.
So the fan would go down like this?
Yep, facing down. So we're going to slide it in just like that, with that port out, facing out, and the fan facing down. The screws for this, your power supply should come with it. Line them up with these 4 holes here. This will keep that in place. The power supply only has 4 screws kind of holding it in place here. So you're going to add some pressure to line it up, like with your hand, and kind of push it where it's lined up with those 4 holes. Looking good.
So same thing, just kind of lightly tight, like I have been doing with all the other parts. Whoa.
Alright, so we're going to take the CPU one, and it will go right here in the top left. It will pretty much always go there. And there's going to be a lip on it, on the port, and it's going to match up here with this latch. There's a little latch here, so. And I'm going to look on this side.
Can you see me? Chapeau.
Yes, sir. I'm going to push in. Oh! Alright, so now we want to zip tie. Alright, now we're going to take the big boy. Do you think you can find it in there? Biggin?
Biggin. What's a biggin?
Oh, you'll see it.
So just look for something big. Oh, this thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, holy cow.
Get that,
yeah.
like, where it's away from, it's not getting tangled in all the other ones.
Okay.
Just kind of just push them to the side. There's not much we can do about that.
Okay.
And then I will
should I go ahead and start zip tying this?
plug it in here. That's where it goes. You want to add a little bit of pressure up and down just to make sure it's in. So good news is you basically got everything in that needs to be done. We're going to clean up cable management here in the back.
So that's most of it?
Now you're basically done.
See, I thought this was going to be like a bunch of plugins too. I was like, this seems really complex.
There is one extra plugin that we do need to do, and that's for this. This is for the RGB. Yeah. All right, so now we're going to take.
There. Is SATA?
Find one of these, but like a different one where it's like on the top. I mean, you can use any. It doesn't need, this is just powering the RGB, so it doesn't need to be like, it could be that one, because we're gonna plug it into this that is connected to this. Cool. Right. And now we are going to do that LED switch from earlier. This powers the ability to change the RGB color on your motherboard.
That gives it that little...
Yep. So now what you want to do is, I've already put it in. We're going to take a zip tie and we're going to tie that around, because this just can get loose in shipping. So you're going to tie it around like...
That makes sense. In between the two holes.
Yeah, we just don't want that to come undone in shipping or whenever. And don't, a little pressure on it, not too much.
Just
like
enough. Like that.
That's
where it's just barely.
Yeah, we're a little bit more actually. I was wrong. Yeah, that's probably good. Where it just won't come undone. Perfect. And then I'll snip off the access.
Nice, snip off the
access. And then we're basically done. What we want to do is find a way to get all these cables back in this case. Yeah. We're going to take that PCIe cable and we're going to feed it through the basement until you get to this hole right here. And that is what we're going to be using to power the GPU here. So when you examine your GPU here, you're going to see a port. You want to make sure you have the right amount of plugs here. This only needs the one 8-pin. So before we can get this in though, there's on the back of the case, we're going to have to prep that a little bit. There's a little screw. You pull this back and you're going to need to remove these top two to kind of figure out the exact ones that you need. We line up the GPU and we just see where those rest.
Oh.
Now that we have that ready, we are going to grab the GPU.
Is there a way to grab this?
Just on the sides. I mean, this is a little less though. It's pretty bulky.
Okay.
So we are going to line up that PCIe slot with the slot here on the motherboard. You'll know it's the right one probably because it's like usually looks the nicest, has the most armor. We're gonna push down this lever. So gentle just to get it lined up right, and when you know everything's lined in right, you can push a little bit. Yep. And now you can push. It sounds like it's in, or it sounds like it's ready to push. So you don't want to push it. Yeah, there we go.
Okay.
So now we're going to take that screw that you unscrewed, put it back on, and then...
This one right here?
Yep. Hit the PCIe and plug it in.
Moment of truth. Abracadabra.
Well, in a second is the moment of truth.
Oh.
Did I get the wrong one?
I think I might just not be pressing.
Oh, there.
Yeah, I just was being very gentle.
Just as likely that it would. Plug it into the power supply.
That's right here, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
And switch it on. And, ooh, that's a good sign. Motherboard works. And now you're going to turn it on.
Oh,
go ahead,
let's go.
Try the switch to the RGB button. Yep.
Oh, that's smooth. I like the blue.
It's got so many settings on this one.
Okay, what
Let's go.
Oh.
Get it, Mark.
Let's go.
How do you feel? Do you feel like your first PC was easier than you thought, harder?
A lot easier, man. I really thought this was going to take like 10 hours or something.
Let's see, it took just about 2, little under 2. It took like a minute or an hour 40.
Yeah, I was expecting this to be way more complex than it actually was.
Heck yeah.
And for some reason in my head, I thought I was going to have to be putting a bunch of parts like on, I think like soldering and all that like on the PC board. I'm like, man, I don't know how this is done. Way easier than I thought, and also an amazing teacher, so really helpful.
Nice. All right, well, let's get this thing benchmarked and wrap up the video.